The federal opposition has accused the government of not listening to the aged care sector as new care requirements force almost 24 homes to shut their doors. Our political reporter Julia Bradley has the details from Canberra. Julia, the Shadow Minister is saying that these targets just aren't achievable for many facilities.
Well, the Shadow Aged Care Minister, Anne Ruston, has essentially said that this outcome was foreseeable. 23 residential aged care homes have had to shut their doors since September as they struggle to meet these demands that are being imposed by the federal government, recommendations from that Aged Care Royal Commission. So as of the 1st of July, all aged care homes across the country will need to have a dedicated 24/7 registered nurse on site. They'll also need to provide 200 minutes of care to each resident every day. But Anne Ruston says that it was wrong for the government to bring forward the timeline ahead of what that Royal Commission recommended.
And we know workforce is a huge challenge across the whole of the care sector, and yet despite knowing all this, they have done nothing about it. They have no integrated plan, and as a result of that, we have seen these really tragic closures, which, as I said, have resulted in older Australians being forced out of their homes.
Data from the Department of Health and Aged Care has shown that between September and February, 17 aged care homes were forced to shut their doors. And on top of that, recently we had Wesley Mission declaring it was going to have to close 3 of its Sydney facilities as it struggled under workforce shortages. And again, just last month, the Western Australian operator declaring 3 of its Perth homes will have to close. But the government today defending that decision to roll out these reforms at this time.
More have opened over the last 2 years than those that have closed, and there's been an increase in aged care beds over the last 12 months as well. I think over 6,000 new aged care beds. So I'm not saying that it's not tough in the aged care sector, and we know that more needs to be done to get more staff into aged care centres and to help meet the increasing demand.
The opposition now calling on the federal government to put in place a workforce strategy to see the sector through this transition. Ash.
Julia Bradley live in Canberra, thank you.